Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Philosopher's Stone is about a young wizard who finds a magical item that holds the secret to eternal life. He should probably give it to Dumbledore, because that's how long it's going to take to make what he does at the end okay. The day after the troll attack, Harry theorizes that Snape let the troll out as a distraction to steal whatever the giant dog was guarding, and that's how he got the cut on his leg, even though he was in the main hall when Quirrell ran in screaming about it. Then he gets a brand new broom from, I guess, McGonagall. Next we have to, get to go through this whole Quidditch game, mostly just to introduce the point that all Slytherins are a bunch of cheaters and assholes, because since they're the rival of the movie's main house, they all have to be assholes. While Harry is chasing the snitch, again look it up, his broom starts freaking out and Hermione decides Snape is the one doing it, but never mind what Quirrell is doing. So the little pyro goes and lights his robe on fire, which distracts them. Which means Harry can go back to chasing the dumb ball, and catches it in his mouth. Why in his mouth? Well, you'll see. And thank God that ends the game. Just look at the CGI. Then these three are talking to Hagrid about what happened and the three-headed dog. And then this idiot tells them that the dog's name is Fluffy and that he's guarding something for Dumbledore and Nicholas Flamel.
I shouldn't have said that.
You think? Then it jumps to Christmas, where Harry and Ron are playing Wizard's Chess. It's just like regular chess, but more destructive. And Hermione mentions that Harry and Ron are going to go look for information on Nicholas Flamel in the restricted section of the library, while she goes home for Christmas. On Christmas Day, Ron gets a terrible sweater and Harry gets an invisibility cloak that completely doesn't become a significant item much later on. Who gave this to him?
It just said, use it well.
I don't think breaking into a library is using it well, but okay. Well, he doesn't find anything, but he does see Snape threatening Quirrell. So he hides in this room that has a mirror that shows his parents. So he wakes up Ron and drags him to see, but instead Ron sees himself as a Quidditch captain or something. I'm starting to think this mirror shows something other than Harry's parents. I guess he spends a lot of time in the front of the mirror, so Dumbledore comes in to stop him. What does this thing even do exactly?
It shows us the deepest and most desperate desires of our hearts.
Oh, that explains it. When Hermione gets back, she finds a book on Nicholas Flamel and the Sorcerer's Stone. Apparently, it can turn any metal into gold and make anyone who drinks the liquid that I guess comes out of it immortal. And that's what Fluffy's guarding. Then they go to tell Hagrid that they know about the Sorcerer's Stone.
Philosopher's Stone!
Don't care, and that Snape is trying to steal it. But Hagrid tells them that Snape is one of the professors who are protecting it, and the other professors are as well, because this guy cannot keep his mouth shut. And Hagrid now has a dragon. I don't know why, but it's there. Then Malfoy sees them there, and this little priss tells on them. But it's McGonagall, so I'm sure Harry's gonna get 10 points for bravery or something.
50 points will be taken. Each. All 4 of you will receive detention.
Holy crap, he got a punishment. So as punishment, they have to go with Hagrid into the Dark Forest. Wait, what? So it's forbidden for them to go into the Dark Forest unless they have detention, then it's okay. That's some screwed up logic, but okay. And they have to find some hurt unicorn. Well, Harry and Malfoy find what's killing the unicorns, so Malfoy runs off and it almost kills Harry until a centaur comes in and saves him. Safest place in the world, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, that was Voldemort, and the unicorn's blood was to keep him alive, and Harry's scar burns when Voldemort is near. Anyway, they figure out the person who gave Hagrid the Dragon Age was the person after the stone, which they assume is Snape. Then Big Mouth here tells them that Fluffy can be put to sleep just by playing him music. They then go to tell McGonagall that they have to see Dumbledore about the Sorcerer's Stone, but he's not there. That night they try to sneak out, but Neville tries to stop them, so Hermione knocks him out and they just go anyway. They go to Fluffy's room and he's already asleep because music is playing. So they jump down into these plant things that they have to relax so it can drop them into the next room. But Ron is too useless to do that, so Hermione has to save him. Next they have to go get a flying key to unlock a door, but as soon as Harry touches the broom that's there, the keys attack him. But once they get that done, on the next room is a giant chessboard that just so happens to have 3 missing pieces that they have to act as. And since Wizard's Chess is so destructive, there's a scene of them playing and pieces getting destroyed. Apparently at this point, the only way for them to win is for Ron to get taken out so Harry can win the game. And there's this big dramatic thing of the king taking Ron out instead of, I don't know, jumping off before his horse gets nailed. Anyway, after Harry wins, they check on Ron, and Harry decides he's gonna go into the last room alone.
You're a great wizard. You really are.
He hasn't even cast one spell this entire movie. How do you know he's a great wizard? Anyway, Harry gets onto the final room, which, what a surprise, is not Snape like they've been saying this entire movie, but Quirrell. So since it's Quirrell and not Snape, I feel like they owe Snape an apology. Not like they're going to, though. And he's the one who messed up Harry's broom during the Quidditch match and let the troll out. And now Harry's scar is burning. Quirrell gets Harry to look into the Desire Mirror and it shows that he has the stone in his pocket. Then the back of Quirrell's head starts talking, and that's because Voldemort is attached to him. What the hell? So Harry tries to bail, but Quirrell starts the place on fire. Hang on. In order for Quirrell to get there, wouldn't he have to go through the same trials that these three went through? Do they reset after someone goes through them, or did J.K. Rowling just not think this part entirely through? Either way, Voldemort knows Harry has a Sorcerer's Stone, so Quirrell tries to kill him for it, but Harry grabs his hand and it disintegrates, which is why he was scared to touch him earlier. And after seeing this, Harry grabs his face and he completely disintegrates. Harry knew what would happen if he did this and did it anyway. An 11-year-old just murdered somebody. As Harry is picking up the stone, Voldemort's ghost thing flies through him and he passes out. Sometime later, Harry wakes up in the hospital and Dumbledore tells him that the stone has been destroyed. They couldn't have done that at the beginning of the year. Anyway, and tells him that one of the guards was that only someone who wanted the stone but not to use it could find it. And Harry's mother's love and sacrifice is the reason Quirrell was unable to touch him. Let's just accept that and move on. Then there's a closing ceremony and the House Cup presentation. The Slytherins won the House Cup and Gryffindor got in last place.
Yes, well done, Slytherin, however.
Yep. He gives Hermione 50 points, Ron 50 points, and Harry 60 points.
We're tied with Slytherin.
Funny how that worked out. And then for bravery or something, Neville gets 10 points.
Gryffindor wins the House Cup.
Okay, no. Dumbledore handles this in the worst possible way. First, he allows all the Slytherin stuff to go up and it makes it seem like they won. So now all the Slytherin kids are excited because they won this year-long competition. And then the headmaster comes out and says, oh, by the way, here's some random points for some non-school related events that happened last night. Then he makes sure to give just enough points to the main three who broke a bunch of rules that they are now tied with the winner. And if that's not bad enough, he gives a fourth kid just enough points so that the house that the headmaster is part of wins. And all the Slytherins are now pissed, and rightfully so. There has to be a distinct cutoff for when they can receive points, like maybe curfew the night before. That way, no matter what, the winner is set. Or, don't put up the leading house's banners up like they won and announce the scores if there are more to hand out. Put the Hogwarts logos banners up and change it to the winners at the end. But instead, Dumbledore, who's supposed to be the greatest headmaster Hogwarts has ever had, pulls this and crushes the spirits of these little kids. Maybe the older kids don't really care about the House Cup anymore, but I can tell you the younger ones do. Look how excited they are, and after the points and banners change, they are devastated. Look at Malfoy's reaction. It's supposed to make him look all whiny about it, but it's 100% justified for what Dumbledore just did. And if any of the older kids didn't care before, I can promise you that they do now. And they are all going to remember this for the rest of their lives. But this movie makes it look like it's some great thing that just happened, but it's not. He just ruined any chance of having a mentor relationship with any of the Slytherins because they can't trust him now. And from the teacher's non-reaction, it makes it seem like this isn't the first time that Dumbledore has done this. No wonder all the Slytherins hate him and feel like they can't trust anyone. The main person who is in charge of every student in the school just screwed them over in front of everyone. And this is why I absolutely hate this scene. What a bunch of bullshit. Then they all go home. The second half actually picks up quite well. It does a good job of showing more of what the world has to offer, like the Quidditch games, even if I don't particularly like that part, the Mirror of Alicet, and the Dark Forest. I don't know why the kids are allowed to go in there for detention because it's an unnecessary danger to them. The puzzles the professors made to protect the stone were interesting too, except they skipped over the potions puzzle Snape made, which defeats the purpose of mentioning that he's helping protect it. I absolutely despise the House Cup winner scene, in case you didn't notice. I can't believe that was in the movie or the book, and that they tried to pass it off as a good thing. The acting still has a gap between the adult and child actors, although it's the same movie, so it probably should. Emma Watson is alright as Hermione Granger. She's good at acting like a know-it-all, but there are times where she sounds like she's just rehearsing the lines. There are also times when you could see her mouthing the other characters' lines too. Rupert Grint is probably the best child actor as Ron Weasley. He can accurately act out what's going on, and he can seem nervous or scared in certain situations. Alan Rickman is fantastic as Severus Snape. He can really convey how much of a jerk he is, but yet he shows that there's something more to the character, which is revealed later on. Ian Hart makes a great Professor Quirrell. I really like his stutter and nervousness while he's around others, but is able to flip to an evil henchman when he's in the stone chamber. He even has split-second moments when he drops the nervous persona after other characters have left the scene. The CGI is about the same as the first part, but it is the same movie. The character models look really bad during the Quidditch match, especially when they're standing still. The models and animation of the wizard chests still look pretty good, especially the life-size ones, but that is practical effects since they probably just built and blew up real chess pieces. The CGI of Professor Quirrell disintegrating doesn't look too bad either. It's a good start to the series, and I'm sure they'll be able to keep the same actors for all the characters throughout. Don't forget to do the YouTube stuff, and thanks for watching.